Bassmaster Elite Series on Lake Oahe, a 24-hour drive from the house. So when I get there, I'm ready to get rolling. After making that huge trek all the way to South Dakota, I get up there. It's a lake I've seen before, lake I fished a few years back. So I kind of had some experience on what to expect, what to look for, that kind of stuff. There's no largemouth there. It's only smallmouth. I mean, there are a few largemouth in the lake. That's not what I'm focusing on. That's not the way to do well. That's not what's going to win this tournament. So I went out there, tried to figure out some smallmouth, found a few semi-productive areas in practice. It's definitely not easy, definitely a grind. Day one, trying to get started on the right foot. And here we go. There we go, Lake Oahe, getting ready to get going, baby.
Weighing in the third biggest bag in Bassmaster history. Three packages, the full package. A two-time Elite Series champion from Salem, Virginia, the cruise missile, John Cruz.
So first morning, I'm ready to pass everybody in this bass cat. Lo and behold, I got a screw loose, literally and figuratively. One of the screws came loose on my hot foot. It was not allowing the throttle to go all the way, so I could only run like 25 miles an hour. That doesn't cut it, especially when you're used to running 75 miles an hour in the Bass Cat Puma STS. The guys from Mercury came over, helped me figure out what was going on. It cost me about 40-45 minutes of time. Nothing was wrong with the boat, nothing was wrong with the motor, just a screw had come loose. A little maintenance issue, probably my fault for not noticing that. Finally get down there. There's two boats sitting right on the little spot where I wanted to fish. First morning of the tournament, I had like 3 or 4 places I wanted to fish, so I didn't go there. I went down to the spot that I thought was, second best. But, lo and behold, as soon as I got there, I started catching fish.
There's the start. I don't think it's even a keeper though. It is a keeper.
All right, after catching a few, got some fish in the boat, settled me down a little bit. I said, okay, now I'm just gonna bounce around to these productive areas in this, 6-8 mile stretch of Lake Oahe. I'm gonna settle into there and see if I can I need to finish out catching 5, I need to get a limit of smallmouth. Then I wanted to start trying to upgrade, and that's kind of how it was in practice. You had to go through some smaller ones, and then you'd get a big one every now and then. Ground out a decent limit. Finally got onto that spot that I wanted to get on. I wanted to start on. Got on there. Sure enough, I put the biggest fish in the boat for the whole day. running back in, you know, I thought I did okay. I think it's going to be a decent day. I didn't think it was going to be great, but you know, I was right there around the 10-pound mark, and I was just outside of the cut. You know, I was just outside of the cut. I was in the 50s, which is where I've lived. It seems like the whole year ever since St. John's River. Just been living in that little lull of just under the cut. So I knew I had to step it up a little bit the next day, and that was kind of what my focus was. Didn't kill myself, but didn't really help myself on that day one.
We just checked in with Mr. Russ. We did not do very well. We're gonna go see what these little rascals weigh. Just a little frustrated. Wasn't from a lack of trying. Gave it to the last minute. Bounced back and forth, shallow and deep. We'll see where we end up, see what we gotta do tomorrow. Getting set out here on day 2. We're in the 60s. So we're gonna have some wind to deal with later. Looks like it's not too bad right now. So hopefully it'll stay that way for a little bit and we can run around, and then we just play the conditions, see what happens.
He's a 2-time Elite Series champion from Salem, Virginia, the cruise missile, John Cruz. Elite Series.
Day 2, wind's blowing to beat the band. Bunch of guys complaining about too much wind, thought they should cancel the day. You know, I had that lower boat number day 2. I was ready to get to that spot I wanted to start on. I caught my best fish there day 1. I wanted to get on there day 2. So sure enough, nobody passed me. Buddy, I shot down there like a cannon, down through all those 3 and 4 foot waves. It was quite an exciting ride, and I was there first. I got there first, got set up, and the first fish I caught, lo and behold, biggin'. It didn't matter where I was going. I was gonna be taking tons of waves over the front of the boat, splash, 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 all day long. I mean, I guess you could have fished in one of those super deep walleye boats, and maybe you couldn't have taken all those waves over the boat. Any bass boat out there on the market, you're going to be taking some over the front. But that boat was stable. It was big. I didn't feel like I was going to fall down all day. That part was good. Ended up catching a limit, wasn't the size limit that I wanted, and then I got back onto that spot that I started. Culled, and then tried to cull again, and I had that great big one that I knew I needed, just went buck wild and came off. Yeah, that fish was super, it was super deflating. You know, time was running out, didn't have a lot of time left. I knew that was a fish that I needed to make the cut. I knew that was a fish I needed to try to further my chances of making the Bassmaster Classic. But I made an adjustment, I made a bait adjustment, switched to Carolina rig, put another 4-pounder in the boat. That baby destroyer saved me. So I thought I had enough time to catch one more. That adjustment within like 20 or 30 minutes, I had that 4-pounder. I thought, man, I've got another 20 minutes. Maybe I can make some magic happen. And I never got that big bite in. I fished to the last second. I ran all the way back up there to Mobridge where the takeoff was. I still had just a few minutes. I fished to the last second. Never got that big bite that I needed. I knew it was gonna be close to make the cut, but I felt like I needed one more good one to really move up a good bit and you know, have a shot at making, you know, top 10 on day 3. Had to make day 3 first though, so we had to go to the weigh-in and see what happened.
Well, we just checked in after a long day of bouncing around and fighting the wind. I think we're going to be a little short. An improved day. I think we lost the one that we really needed. So we'll have to put them on the scales and then wait and see what happens.
After the weigh-in, I was extremely unnerved about my positioning of what I had weight-wise. I had I knew it was going to be right at the cut. And sure enough, I was the first man out of the cut. It was like a punch in the gut. That punch in the gut was $10,000 versus $2,500 for that one event. It meant I was done. I had no shot at making the Classic. I was going to have to move up tremendously on day 3 to even consider having enough points. I didn't even have an opportunity to do that. So my Classic hopes were done. The only chance I had was try to win the Mississippi River, the last event. That was my only chance, but making it on points, that was done. It was tough. It was a tough mental hurdle to get over, man. That one really hit me in the gut hard. I knew I was fishing pretty decent. Had the fish on to make the day 3 cut and then make that 10 grand check. I had it on. I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I had a great hook. I feel like I fought the fish properly. Some of them just come off. That's the nature of fishing, and the nature of bass fishing, especially tournament fishing, is the ones you really need. A lot of times they come off. So I was really glad that I didn't have too much time to mope and sit on my butt. I had to turn around and prep and start getting ready for the Mississippi River. Is the next week. We're going straight from there to La Crosse, Wisconsin. I'm ready to get back in action. I'm ready to put my best foot forward and just make a heck of a swing at it that last week, that last Bassmaster Elite Series of the year, the last shot at the Bassmaster Classic. It was the last shot, the last hurrah. I had to put together a good game plan for practice. So I didn't have too much time to think about Lake Oahe. My mind was already turned around and focused on the next tournament.